What's going on, fellow A-plusers? It's your host, Adam Perez, back once again with a brand new video for you guys today as we're going to be getting into your live viewer questions from this past Sunday. So whatever questions I certainly did not get the opportunity to tackle, I will be tackling them now for you guys and dropping this hopefully on Tuesday for you guys to certainly enjoy. So as always, listen, guys, if you're new to the channel and you happen to fall upon our live viewer questions, if you ever want to submit a live viewer question, feel free to go over to our main YouTube page and click on the community tab. And usually on Wednesdays or any day after Wednesday, I usually will go ahead and post a live viewer question post for you guys. And then feel free to submit your questions as over. So as always, here we go. We go straight to the YouTube page, click on the community tab, and voila, there's usually a live viewer questions. Now, let me go ahead and tackle these. I'm going to go ahead and set this up sort by newest first. Let's see if I can remember where we left off. Jackson Peterson, I think we talked about that. Hope you all are having, if you could pick 5 females from each of the Arrowverse, we talked about that. Okay, and I think we left off at Francois. So let's go ahead and dive into Francois' question and see what else you guys are saying. I just want to make sure I did get everybody else's this week, and it looks like I did. So, all right, let's go ahead and do this. Francois, while we don't know exactly the 30th anniversary union special will be about as of yet, what would you like to see as the opening scene, and how do you think the MMPR team will get together and react at the return of Lord Zed? The special itself connecting to Cosmic Fury. It would be a little odd if this MMPR special does not relate to Cosmic Fury, even though both are executive produced by Simon Bennett and Hasbro. I do expect them to be connected in some way. I do expect the special itself to be a little bit more focused on one particular thing. That would probably be the men's situation, but it wouldn't surprise me if Lord Zed's name certainly pops up. It might be even the reason why we may even get David Yost from this special into the 30th anniversary to maybe help assist the Cosmic Fury Rangers at some point in time. I would think that maybe he would bring along men for the ride in Cosmic Fury, but certainly do not quote me on that. But I do expect some sort of connective tissues to definitely be happening here. As far as what I would like to the opening scene to be, honestly, I wouldn't mind it being focused on the new character in Men, whether that be her coming out of school. For me, I don't know, maybe she's going to the cemetery to, give her mom some roses on her, her tombstone or whatever the case may be. Maybe it's a little sentimental opening to immediately make the connection as to who this new character is. So maybe as it opens, we open up to her paying her mother a visit and talking, getting some things off her chest, or maybe she's coming out of school for the first time. But I would say let's introduce to the brand new character first on the MMPR special and see how she sort of, I don't want to say falls into the team, but how she eventually goes on to meet them. That's probably how I would do it. But again, I'm definitely not the writer here. Let's see here. Power Rangers Legacy. What made the Wild Force and Time Force crossover episode so special? The fact that it carried over the storyline of the previous seasons while advancing the plot of the then current season. Everybody was shown to be on equal ground. All 12 Rangers appeared, and it redeemed the villain from the previous season, and it was 2 parts, so nothing was rushed. I do wish the Time Force theme played during the roll call, but that's okay, because the Wild Force theme had just enough energy to carry both teams. They even gave Jen and Wes a conclusion that the Time Force finale didn't, like Jen deciding to stay in 2002 to be with Wes. Also, that they had a brief love-hate romance flirtation with Eric and Taylor, which was later echoed and became official with Ollie and Amelia in Dino Fury. I like the comparisons there, Power Ranger Legacy. Jessica Fryman, which powers do you think Adam will use in the 30th anniversary special? And oops, what did I do? And damn it, I lost it. Where'd it go? And do you think we will see some returning cast members show up for the final season of The Flash? I hope so. Maybe, like, I would love a return for Cisco Is Cisco still on the show? I haven't watched The Flash in forever. I don't think. Yeah, Cisco's no longer in the show. They wanted to bring in the other homeboy. So maybe a return of Cisco would really be great. I wouldn't mind seeing Ronnie maybe pop back up if that's even a possibility. I feel like they didn't they do a Ronnie or like Stephen Amell, are they cousins? I believe. I can't remember. I thought he popped back up just recently in a Flash season. I can't remember if that was the previous season or not. But yeah, I would love to see some familiar faces from the past pop up, most definitely. As far as which power do I think Adam will use in the 30th anniversary special, I'll go with MMPR Black. I'll go with MMPR Black. With the majority of the movie sequels, this is a Doomsday. What's up, Doomsday? With the majority, why does it keep doing this? My goodness, my computer just keeps acting up on me. With the majority of movie sequels in this world either being worse than the original or not being as good as the originals, do you think Black Panther Wakanda Forever will actually dominate Black Panther 1 as one of the best sequels of all time? Of all time, that I don't know. Um, but one of the things that I did predict, and again, I have not had the opportunity to check out Wakanda Forever as of this Tuesday when this video drops, which is November 15th. I still have not seen the movie. I am expecting it to be better than the first. I think the fact that it's got such an emotional arc to it with the passing of Chadwick Boseman, I think is really going to draw out not only an amazing script from Ryan Coogler, but also incredible performances by a very powerful cast. And I've said this before in the show, if Black Panther 1 ended up getting an Oscar nod, I would not be surprised if Black Panther 2 felt more like it was more deserving of an Oscar nod than Black Panther 1. Whether or not it gets nominated, who certainly knows? But usually when you have that type of emotional weight to it, maybe there's something special going on there. So I don't know. We'll see. Some sequels are very hit or miss sometimes, unfortunately. Jack Daniels, this is clearly a rumor. But what do you think of Deadpool 3 possibly crossing over with 2005's Fantastic Four team? Basically, Deadpool goes and destroys the Fox Marvel universe, even running into a variant of Spider-Man. I don't really care for that. I don't really care for it. Yeah, I mean, if that's what Deadpool 3 is going to turn into, a multiversal movie, that might worry me just a little bit in regards to it. But I don't know. I'm gonna have to see the script itself. I mean, look, the idea of Deadpool and Wolverine sounds absolutely incredible. I immediately think buddy cop movie. But yeah, with the rumors and stuff, I mean, I have heard the Fox Marvel universe, them destroying it, sort of thing. I don't know if that's the route that they're gonna go. I personally want to see an actual story. Unless they have to destroy the Fox Marvel universe in order to get to the MCU and they are able to play around with it a little bit, maybe. But I don't necessarily know if I need my Deadpool 3 to be over the top. Like I felt like I just got that sort of thing in Doctor Strange 2, with so much multiverse aspects to it. I just don't need them to jump the shark and go off the rails with this one. But it's Deadpool and Wolverine, right? I feel like you can almost get away with anything. Jericho, you already talked about this when you reached my question. So, as a recap, what did you think of the new trailer of John Wick 4? And what were some of your favorite moments from the trilogy and like to see that's been better in this fourth installment? In any past films of Keanu you really liked and disliked? This fourth film does indicate that this franchise is one of Keanu's better ones, even box office. Yeah, I mean, this has got to be some of his best work ever. And this man has had an incredible career. Outside of this, The Matrix, Speed, Devil's Advocate. I mean, God, the man's been in so many great movies, but as far as franchises go, this is definitely up there with The Matrix in regards to coming back for more. I mean, the fact that we've got 4 films already of John Wick, and each film seemingly continues to get better and better than the next one. Yeah, I mean, he's probably outdoing The Matrix as we speak. But it is amazing to see how Keanu Reeves has had literally 2 resurgences in his life when it comes to his acting when he was younger and then much later on in his career. So the Keanu Renaissance is definitely Keanu Sans is definitely a real thing. And I love the John Wick 4 trailer. It's beautifully shot. The cinematography in these movies are absolutely incredible. The action set pieces continue to get bigger and bigger. I mean, the horses galloping in the sand and he's shooting other people off their horses and stuff. I mean, look, the only thing that was missing is like we've done the horse riding in the city. If I'm gonna get on the sand, I need a camel race. Like, let's get John Wick on a camel in a camel race, shooting some people also on camels. I might go for something like that. But I do love the franchise in general. Some of my favorite moments from the trilogy. Oh God. The dogs from part three were incredible with Holly Berry. I loved absolutely seeing her kick some ass herself. Extremely well trained dogs. I absolutely love seeing them in that film. I think even like one of my favorite moments in three also is when he's facing the giant guy in the library and he literally breaks the man's neck over the spine of the book. I mean, just brutal to beat somebody with a book. I think even John Wick one, the is it John Wick one when he kills Homeboy with the pencil, or is that when we get into John Wick two? I can't remember. Like he has to go back to the Continental, and I think he's already shot and wounded, and he's trying to make his way, but he's got all these assassins kind of coming after him. I think it was that might have been number two, but I believe he kills a man with a pencil, and it made me laugh because in the first one, I believe, is when they teach you about the way that John Wick can kill people with the fucking pencil. I love it, man. It's such great. Chad Stileski, who is the director of this, continues to just outdo himself, and I really would like to see him tackle a Blade movie. You know, Blade currently does not have a director, and just with his style of directing, man, I think he would fit Blade so incredibly well. So, listen, I am the proponent that if you can keep Mahershala Ali on a little longer and not piss him off, maybe delay Blade a little bit until after the marketing for John Wick ends for that film and see what Chad is up to, see if he's got any openings. That's who my pick for a Blade movie would be. But yeah, man, great stuff when it comes to John Wick. Gabriel says, going animated. What do you love about animated movies and shows? And with Hasbro planning on doing animation when it comes to Power Rangers in the future, do you think would help make Power Rangers more unique? There's so many possibilities with going animated where it's a little more easier to bring old characters back to reprise their roles where they can just record their voices from any recording studio instead of flying them across the country. Animation would even allow Power Rangers to cross over with other superhero brands or any movie or show in general. Unlike live action, I don't need to worry about spending so much money on building or rebuilding sets or things not making much sense. Animation is clearly still expensive due to having to put visuals and putting things together. I got to imagine that animation is cheaper than live action. Maybe not by much, but I guess it all depends on the studio and the company that you go with. But one of the things, I do say that yes, it will make Power Rangers even more unique in the sense that this will be a first for Power Rangers, right? I don't believe we've ever had Power Rangers an animated series or anything like that, or television show or movie. So if would be a first for Power Rangers, yeah, very unique amongst everything else that's come out for the brand. But when it comes to animated movies and shows, I just really appreciate the freedom. You mentioned the idea of not having to spend money on building sets and stuff. There's just some things that you cannot do live action that you can't necessarily get away with doing in live action without it looking just absolutely ridiculous. And so, the fact that hold on, let me check my mic again because last time I did this with my mic, it always does this. It makes me hollow, but I think it works now. I turn my mic on and on. I hope StreamYard holds my settings. Like I'm really pissed off that every time it comes back and I keep losing my settings. So hopefully it fixes that. But getting back to your question, I just love the freedom that it allows for, I think animation does just as good of a job pulling at your heartstrings and showcasing animation, some very pivotal moments that can happen in television series. Sometimes they have really great soundtracks as well. I mean, look, I've seen some people on Twitter or even Instagram with some cool
Power Ranger animation, then I don't know if, what style of art Hasbro is certainly going to go with, but damn, it makes me really excited. Like, I'm just thinking of the morph sequences. I'm just thinking of the Zords kind of coming together and stuff, and just some of the really cool action and weapons and stuff that you can really do with Power Rangers. So, I think the possibilities are endless. I think this allows for them, if they ever want to go into some Boom Studios comics content, and kind of bring those pages to life in their unique storylines. I think that would definitely open up things. I think it gives us the opportunity to do more anthology stuff where we're maybe not necessarily focusing on one team, but several different teams over, each episode, or, each episode a brand new team, or whatever the case may be. So, the levels of storytelling just become vastly different, and just opens up a whole nother world that you can't do in live action, that you maybe have always wanted to see on screen, and animation is definitely the way to go. So I'm really hyped for it, honestly. Kurt Marino, hey guys, it's been a while now since the cast of MMPR 30th anniversary reunion special. um Hold on. Hey guys. So it's been a while now since the cast of the since the cast for the MMPR anniversary reunion special. Looking back, what do you remember when the rumors and speculation of Hasbro doing big things for the 30th anniversary? This even applies before Cosmic Fury was official. What do you hope gets announced later on, or too good to be true? And are you happy that we're getting 30th anniversary special first before Cosmic Fury itself? Look, I'm thrilled with what Hasbro has actually given us for the 30th anniversary, the special and the season. I think they're definitely spoiling us here, and I think they're doing their due diligence in making the 30th anniversary as, honestly, as special as it possibly can be for us fans. So looking back, some of the rumors and speculations, I think I remember a rumor of maybe a Zenkaiser suit being in there somewhere. I remember the days of Zoologer being talked about as possibly the next one, right? I think I remember hearing the Illuminati, or at least Joe and them, just kind of doing some speculation of their own. I think they had mentioned the idea once um that Zoologer was it was set up to be Zoologer or Dino Fury as the, or Real Soldier as the next seasons, and they decided to go with Real Soldier. So I think there was an assumption that Zoologer was certainly going to be the next suits and things like that. Whether or not that holds true, or if they changed course at some particular point in time and came up with another idea, who certainly knows. But I do remember quite a few rumors and speculation of what we could possibly be getting for the 30th anniversary. But I will say, it is fascinating that I feel like the idea of a 30th season was introduced rumor wise very early, along with the idea of a reunion special. And I think there was even a short period of time where we thought, man, maybe we're not getting that special whatsoever. But the fact that it came back full circle, and we were getting what we were speculating on very early on, I thought was pretty cool to see it finally piece itself together. So, yeah, kudos to Hasbro for putting that together for us. Morgan Hutchinson, what do you want to see in season 3 of Superman and Lois? And would you like to see Clark return to his job at the Daily Planet? I feel he needs a little more focus in a normal working environment besides being a family man, not just as a superhero. Also, any chance we will see the original actor for Jonathan Kent in flashbacks when season 3 does a recap? So, Morgan, this is where I wish we had Stuart here also to go ahead and answer questions about for live viewer questions, because I unfortunately have not been keeping up with Superman and Lois. I jumped in and out of season 2, seeing like Bizarro and things like that. Um, Also, the idea of Jonathan as a Superboy and stuff, but I never really knew the context or the full episode sort of behind him, and I never watched the finale, unfortunately. So, I don't really have any expectations for what I would like to certainly see in season 3. And as far as will we see any chance that we'll see the original actor from Jonathan Kent in flashbacks. I mean, when season 3 does a recap and they talk about what happened in season 2, I fully expect the original actor, like the scenes that have already been filmed in the past, I expect them to utilize those again as flashbacks at least. If it's a scene that's been shot and shown on the show, those flashbacks will be certainly utilized. But with the brand new Jonathan Kent, anything certainly going forward will be the brand new character. And if it's like a fresh flashback that the new Jonathan Kent is having, I would expect the new Jonathan Kent to be in that flashback. But if it is anything like footage that they're going to be showing from seasons 1 and 2, I expect the original actor, but I don't expect the original actor to return to this show. I just unfortunately don't. As far as Clark going back to his job at the Daily Planet, I personally would like that too. I kind of would like to see how him and Lois handle, working in the same workspace together. Um, I know maybe it's the idea of, hey, we only really need one reporter in the family, so they stick around with Lois being the one to be the reporter and Clark to certainly stay home. And there is an aspect of Clark being a stay-at-home dad that I kind of appreciate because I have always wanted to kind of see like what that side of Superman would certainly look like. But I can't lie, I do miss him being also the reporter. So maybe as these kids get older, look, I feel like Jonathan and damn it, what's the other kid? And Jordan, like they're in high school now, bro. Like they're old enough to fend for themselves. If your parents have got a full work day at home, I think you can trust your kids to watch the house until 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock whenever you get home. And Clark, look, Clark probably works 8 to 5. He probably gets off at 5. He's probably back in Smallville at 5:02. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, and he can listen in whenever he wants to. So, Clark, you don't got to be a stay at home dad. You're more than flexible enough to work at the Daily Planet too, if you like. Stuart, thoughts on Jungle Fury? He says, I personally think it's a very underrated season. I would agree with you. I really like the chemistry between the cast. The Ranger suits are both unique and different, and the motif being martial arts was a nice touch. The morphers for the main three Rangers being sunglasses was quite unique compared to the gloves in the Sentai. I will agree. I think I remember Stuart mentioning the fact that he loved the idea of sunglasses. That might have been even one of his like morphers. I think somebody asked us a question like if we could have a morpher, which morpher would we choose if we had to pick three? And I think Stewart might have said the sunglasses as one of his choices. I really love RJ as being our first Purple Ranger. I loved RJ. I think he was such a great mentor and a really cool Purple Ranger. And he was generally a really cool feng shui kind of mentor. He knew how to be serious while being cool. Dominique was a cool White Ranger, basically. And come on, his morpher was a freaking blade. Each of the Rangers were pretty good character focus. I love all the Zords, and RJ's Wolf Zord stood out to be the most, to me, the most because he was able to summon copies of the Red Tiger and Blue Jaguar Zords to combine to form his own Wolf Pride Megazord. Daishi and Camille as the main villains was really nice, and seeing Daishi Jared being Casey's direct rival was really cool and really paid off well in the series finale. Unfortunately, that this was unfortunately, this was almost similar to Devin and Blaze and Beast Morphers, but was completely dropped. The Spirit Rangers, as the new American made exclusives, were nice as well, but not impactful in the series. So I'm glad you brought that up. Anyways, Jungle Fury was solid yet underrated season of Power Rangers. 8 out of 10. I would perfectly agree with you, Stuart. Um, I will say this. I had not seen the counterpart to Jungle Fury for its Super Sentai counterpart. I hadn't seen it, so I honestly didn't even know that they were American-made exclusive Rangers. I'm assuming you're talking about like the bat, the elephant. I'm losing. Was that a dolphin? I'm losing it now. But anyway, yeah, I would agree with you. I thought the designs are pretty cool. I was pretty impressed, honestly. But not a lot of impact in the series, and I definitely would have liked to have seen that be a little bit more oomph. You know what I mean? So, yeah, most definitely. Um, And last but not least, the most talented man alive. If you guys haven't seen the new Black Panther movie, take your headphones off. I haven't seen it yet, but I have kind of scrolled through your question a little bit. And listen, this isn't really a spoiler, just based off of the fact that I've seen it already in the trailers. But what did you think of the live action debut of Riri Williams as Ironheart? Oh, what did I think of the debut? Okay, yeah, you're right. I can't really I can't really answer that. And how do you like the suit that was clearly inspired by Iron Man? Okay, yeah, so you're right. I can't answer that question. How would you think Deadpool will run into Wolverine into the third Deadpool movie? And what would be the storyline? Oh my god. I'm still thinking buddy cops. I mean, I still think that they are definitely going to be it's just going to be a ragtag group of the two of them. I wouldn't mind even seeing Cable in there if they wanted to. Yeah, I guess my thing would be Deadpool uh somehow maybe being I can't say that because I was going to say maybe he's going to be thrusted into the future and meet Logan when he's his older self, but Hugh Jackman's been pretty open about the idea that they're not going to mess around with Logan, the Logan movie, to make sure that he certainly gets his proper send off, if you will. So I mean, yeah, maybe they go on some multiversal trip. I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of it, but we just talked about this in one of the live viewer questions previously. I mean, maybe that is the route that they go. I mean, look, at some point in time, you got to get Deadpool into the MCU, out of the Fox universe. Uh, you know, Wolverine, is he going to be the staple character in the staple Wolverine in the MCU, or are they going to make way for somebody else to certainly take that role? So, at I got to assume that maybe it's an attempt. Maybe something's happening in the Fox Marvel universe, and they've got to escape it and make their way to another universe in order to survive. And maybe it's the case of Wolverine at the end of the day, them being the best of buds, sacrifices himself for Deadpool and maybe pushes him through an incursion portal or whatever the case may be into our MCU. And that maybe that's the last that we see of Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, as he perishes on the Fox universe world. But who knows? Listen, Wolverine is a character who has seen his fair share of days of future past, if you will. Even in the comic books, the most recent, like House of M. Oh no, I'm sorry. Uh, House of X, I believe, by Jonathan Hickman, really establishes the idea of like Wolverine surviving multiple timelines and sort of like carrying over the knowledge that he's had previously, sort of thing. Pretty trippy stuff, if you ask me. So I guess maybe it's the Fox universe, maybe being destroyed. Maybe it is part of an incursion. They've talked about incursions. I'm going to go that route. I'm going to go that route. Since we are discussing incursions in the current phase 4 of the MCU, I have a feeling it will play massively into Secret Wars. But maybe it is the concept of one Earth and another Earth getting ready to collide. Only one can certainly survive. And maybe it's the Fox Marvel universe that's being destroyed. And in an attempt to survive, maybe that's what we get. We get Wolverine sacrificing himself so Deadpool can live in our MCU. But along the way, it sounds kind of grim, but along the way, clearly having their buddy cop antics. So that's just my own prediction. Who knows what this storyline will certainly be. But all right, guys, I think that will certainly do it for all of our live viewer questions. This isn't my bottle, by the way. If you guys notice this, this is my baby boy's bottle from this evening. I didn't even realize it was in camera the whole entire time. I'm gonna start drinking my coffee out of this. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, thank you guys very much for certainly joining me for live viewer questions and continuing to submit them. I apologize that it took me so long to get to last week's questions for you guys, but this will certainly be up for you guys pretty soon here. So definitely expect this on Tuesday morning. But all right, guys, remember, if you do want to submit your live viewer questions, wait till after Wednesday. I will post a brand new post for live viewer questions sometime after Wednesday. And once we do, go over to our main page, click that community tab, and submit your question. All right, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, do me a big favor as always, guys. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and keep it A plus. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.